there's so many different like very minuscule tasks. And then around like 7 or 8 p.m. I get tired and just go work out and sleep, and then just repeat that throughout the week. And then Saturdays I usually just relax a little bit, get some work done.
Welcome back to Young Smart Money with me, your host, Apple Kreider. Today we are sitting down with Kendall Shaw. This dude is doing some big things over at Digitalism. That is the same agency that Chin and Jordan Nazario, who have been on the podcast in the last 2-3 weeks, also are a part of. So this dude's 19 years old, absolutely crushing it. He ended up going to school for about a semester, ended up dropping out, and then starting this agency with Christian and Jordan. And throughout that process, he's been very involved in the ad side of things. So in this episode, we're diving a bit deeper into the world of Facebook ads and paid traffic, how you can start to incorporate paid traffic into an agency, or how you can just start an agency and start selling paid traffic to local businesses that are looking to get more people in the door, generate more leads, all of that good stuff. So if you are in the agency space, or you are just interested in the world of Facebook ads and how to get started as a young hustler, 19 years old, again, doing some massive things, on track to become a millionaire by 21. That's been his goal for a while now. So we're going to talk a little bit about that as well. So without further ado, I'm going to welcome Kendall Shaw on to the podcast. So wherever you guys are at, wherever you're listening to this episode at today, again, I'm extremely grateful for you, and I hope you get a ton of value out of this episode with Kendall Shaw. Enjoy the podcast. All right, Kendall, welcome to Young Smart Money. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, man. How are you doing?
I am doing fantastic. Super stoked to be sitting down with you here today. In previous episodes in the last few weeks, we've chatted with a couple of your business partners. That would be Christian and spacing on your other guy's name.
Jordan.
Jordan Nazario. That one just dropped yesterday. Absolutely. So I wanted to dive in, talk to you as well, because they've got amazing stories. I want to dive into yours as well. But first, could you give us a quick snapshot, like 60 seconds of where you're at right now in time, and then we're going to start a flashback.
Yeah, so pretty much now, like I said, my name's Kendall. I'm currently running my digital marketing company, Digitalism. So we have a lot of e-commerce operations, our own stores, consulting, also working with a lot of businesses. Flashback, a year ago, I literally was graduating high school and was going to the University of Tampa on a lacrosse scholarship. So it's just crazy.
Wow.
Literally a lot of my high school friends that are a year younger than me graduated like the last couple of days. It's just crazy, like how much time can progress and stuff.
That's crazy, man. So in high school, let's flash back a bit to like middle school, high school. Were you somebody who was entrepreneurial? Were you into sports?
100%. So I played football in high school and middle school, but I really love lacrosse. Lacrosse is my passion growing. Throughout high school, I actually, basically, my whole focus before online business was getting a lacrosse scholarship, basically. I really wanted to play. I had Division I offers, Division II, Division III, because lacrosse is a lot smaller than football. Yeah. It's not like there's some Division III schools that could beat Division I schools. So throughout high school, I've loved entrepreneurship. I've been into social media marketing since I was like 13.
Wow.
So when I was in middle school, actually, that's when I discovered e-commerce and social media marketing. Not drop shipping, but I used to resell products on eBay, like shoes and stuff. And then I used to also manage Instagram accounts when I was a young age as well.
Okay. What got you into those things? Was it just like making some extra money to buy like some like candy and video games, or like? Not
even really. I just like making money, honestly. Like, I don't know, for the shoe, my parents always said I was like obsessed with making money. I remember I was definitely one of the kids who Googled how to make money online at 13, 14. That was definitely me. But no, I would just say the shoes part, one of my good friends got me into that. His name is Rashad, actually. He has like 100,000 followers on Instagram. So
nice.
He does entrepreneurship as well. He got me into reselling shoes, but other than that, I've always been a very curious person. I've taught myself a lot of things myself. So whether that's reading books or just educating yourself, you can find anything online. You either have to pay for it or just look for it.
Sure. So like when you were like 13 years old doing like Instagram stuff, how were you like finding clients, or like how did you get started?
It wasn't like the scale that it's at now, for sure.
Yeah.
I definitely wasn't making like that much money.
Sure.
I was just involved in the space, you know.
How'd you first get involved? Like, did you have like an did you have somebody?
My friends and I, iFunny.
Oh yeah.
iFunny. Yeah. So we used to like have iFunny accounts.
Okay.
Just as like jokes and stuff, just because it's super fun. We would always do it in middle school.
Yep.
Up until like probably at the end of the ninth grade, I kind of stopped doing it. And we just did the same thing on Instagram pretty much. Just doing like memes and stuff. Cause if you go on the explore page back in like 2013, 2014, 2015, you just would see content that you liked and just go from there. You know, it was very simple. It wasn't as advanced as it is now.
That's fair. That's fair. So, throughout high school, you're basically working on like different side hustles. Was it mostly like
Mm,
e-commerce and social media?
yes and no. Okay, so that was more through middle school, I guess. Throughout
Okay.
high school, I didn't really start entrepreneurship to my like junior year.
Hmm.
Freshman and sophomore year, I was really focused on. I was just kind of finding myself.
Sure.
How most high schoolers are. You're just going through so much. Emotionally, physically, just with hormones and stuff. I was just trying to figure out who I was.
Yeah.
And after I really found my love for like online marketing, I came up with the idea. Like I just started like brainstorming ideas. I always was good at like I was just a visionary. Like, I'm a visionary. I always good at ideas, even if like I had 3 app ideas that never worked. So after I really understood like the power of the internet and what it provided to the people, I knew I had to make money online somehow.
Yeah.
Just because the internet's such an infantile stage now. Like I always think about what the internet's going to be like when like I decide to have kids, like what the internet will be then. Because it's
Mhm.
so like you can already make so much now. Imagine like 15 years from now. And I realized
Yeah.
that at a young age. So I invested in myself. The only course that I can say I bought was Ty Lopez's course. I bought his
Classic.
course, saw a YouTube ad. And after that, probably spent 18 months on self-education. So
Hmm.
reading books. I took a lot of AP classes in high school. So I got to take this class called scientific research.
Hmm.
So pretty much I got to do a whole case study on e-commerce and
Wow.
how it works. I got to teach myself it for a class in my senior year.
That's super
So
cool.
so I just literally spent like in my school we had block schedules. So each day my class would be like an hour and a half.
Mhm.
So I probably spent a whole semester just self-educating myself on e-commerce during school time, which was like the best thing ever because I would just sit back and everyone would be like, "What are you doing?" Because like my classmates were like making apps. Like literally, someone got interviewed by Google. And
Wow.
yeah, so it was like, and I was jerking off, doing nothing, trying to learn drop shipping, but it worked. It ended up paying well. It ended up paying off.
Solid. So did you start selling online or like
Yeah. So I started selling clout goggles. I started e-commerce in the summer of my senior year of high school.
okay.
So I tested clout goggles. It was just like, those little white glasses, whatever. And I made like $100, but I didn't really do anything serious until that following February. That's when I
Hmm.
really like started having like extreme strides and breakthroughs in my business, I guess.
Hmm. And what led to that? Was it like you focusing in on it? Was it
Yeah.
like
It was just me. Like, I really think like a lot of people in the space, now that I've had like success, a lot of people in the space are very short term. Like
yeah.
I started this almost 4 years ago now.
Wow.
And some people, if they'll spend like $1,000 on a Facebook ad and quit drop shipping because they didn't have immediate success. And I guess for me, the biggest thing was my long-term vision. I was saying I was going to drop out of college before I went to college, and I had a lacrosse scholarship. So I was saying that my senior year of high school, and then a year later, my company's on track to do 7 figures. We have a bunch of stuff behind the scenes are going to be crazy, and none of this would happen unless I stayed the path and stayed focused, even if I didn't have the results.
Yeah. So how long were you at college for?
Honestly, I was there for one semester, but I stopped going to school when I stopped going to school probably like in September. I stopped going to class because my dropshipping store was doing about $10,000 a week at that point. So I was kind of like, oh my God, like it was actually becoming unprofitable for me to be in class because I was working with Christian. Christian and I were getting Digitalism started, and Jordan ended up coming down the next month. So after Jordan came down, 3 weeks later, we did like $35,000 in the first like 17 days of all three of us working together. So like 2 or 3 weeks later, I officially dropped out after we got the house.
Wow. So how'd you meet Christian?
Instagram. This is the crazy part. All through social media. Christian went to the University of Tampa as well.
Hmm.
So um, he just started following me. I think like in February when I was still in high school, and he told me he saw that I committed to UT, and he's like, I live in Tampa. I go there. I do digital marketing. I have an office. If you ever want to link up, come. And I was like, heck yeah, because I was a freshman going into college, a senior in college. I could learn so much. I'm new to the city.
Yeah.
I was really excited to go to Tampa. I really love the school. If I didn't have the passion for online business, because online business isn't for everybody.
Hmm.
Entrepreneurship isn't for everybody, and I wanted to get a degree. Because there's nothing wrong with college, but like you don't need to have success in entrepreneurship, but in other fields you do need to have success.
Oh yeah.
So for me, if I didn't want to do entrepreneurship, I totally would have stayed there. I loved the school. It was a great place. It just wasn't for me, you know?
For sure. So do you know what it was that like put you on Christian's radar?
Actually, I think it was probably I posted something just tagging University of Tampa, honestly.
Hmm.
I mean, it wasn't, I think he followed me, but we didn't really develop a relationship until like we met in person, you know, just because
Okay.
it's so different when you meet someone like on social media and then you meet them in person. It's like everyone's different behind a phone in reality.
That's the truth. That's the truth. So you started working with Christian, and it sounds like you guys had some pretty immediate success with the project you were working on.
Right. Well, it was a process with Christian and I, because what you have to realize is, well, not you have to realize, pretty much when I came down, I had my own marketing agency in high school in dropshipping. So I was saying I was probably making $3,000 to $7,000 a month at the height with business clients, and also my e-commerce store. The profits were allocated to the agency as well as paying myself out.
Mm-hmm.
So I had probably 4 people I was working with at the time before I came to Tampa, because I'm originally from Atlanta. So before I came to Tampa, I was doing that. And it was okay. It was definitely not digitalism, right?
Yeah.
But I was running that at the time, and all my business partners were back home in Atlanta. So I was trying to make that work. I also had a dropshipping store with my cousin that I was trying to do as well. So I just was very unfocused when I met Christian. I was doing so much. I was playing college lacrosse, trying to balance everything. I just met my girlfriend at the time. I just had so much stuff going on. So slowly, as everything slowed down and I realized, learning from Christian and how he does business, he's a very methodical person. After that, it just kind of slowed down, started honing in, and then Jordan ended up coming down probably about 2.5 months later. And then we went from there.
Huh. So talk to us about like you said that your agency was not digitalism. So like what are the differentiators between like what you were doing before and like what you're doing now as far as like how the agency actually looks?
Right. Definitely structure for sure. I would say throughout high school, it's so hard in high school to have like a really long-term vision, or not like just a long-term vision and structure to anything, whether it's with like an actual business. You can do it with like an e-commerce store, but like e-commerce and an agency are 2 different business models,
Mm-hmm.
So really building something out that's going to be long-term and focused, I couldn't do it. I didn't know how to lead a company at the time. I just didn't have the knowledge. I didn't have there was a lot of things I didn't know how to run the business.
Sure.
So when I met Christian and I saw the expertise and the skill that he's had, he really allowed me to focus on what I'm good at and he's basically helped me maximize it, if that makes sense. So I couldn't lead because also I wanted to run all the ads for my agency. I didn't want to go out and do the sales. So It's not really like it's a 2-way street. You can't just take the back seat in a company and not do sales because you won't make any money. So that's something also I had to learn from Jordan, and Jordan ended up, really mentoring me with sales. And after that, I would say that's really when things started to change for me personally.
I like that a lot. Yeah. Cause I mean, you got to go out there. You can't just, like you said, sit back, especially when you're just starting off. Like you gotta go out there and find people.
100%. I mean, the biggest problem with my businesses fails because of cash flow,
Mm-hmm.
People, if you have a brand new business, the most important thing is making money. That's why a lot of people fails, because they invest so much, but they don't focus on like, how am I going to bring that back in?
Truth. So it sounds like Christian was somebody who really has had a big impact on you. Have you had any mentors in the agency space, or really just any kind of like entrepreneurial people in your life?
Yes, definitely Gary Vee. I actually met Gary.
Really?
Yeah. One of my clients actually in Atlanta, he reached out to him. He's one of the artists, because I do a lot of stuff in the music space as well. And I ended up meeting with Gary. It was really cool. But I would say my mentors would be more from like books and like actually like observing someone and how they live, because there's one thing where like if you buy a course or a mentorship from someone and you learn how they run their business, but it's a different thing to really observe somebody and see how they run their business and what the actions they're taking.
Yeah, that's true. And like,
Sure.
and seeing how people think as well is also usually extremely valuable.
Right.
Like if there's somebody who you really look up to, like getting to see like the inner workings of their brain can be really, really like impactful.
Right. For sure.
So do you think it's important to have like mentors when you're trying to start something, or do you think it's kind of like optional?
Well, for me, I didn't have a mentor when I started. And now that I go back in time, if I would have had the investment and funds to do so, I would say do it, but just be careful, because there's a lot of people in the online space that portray themselves as someone they're not. So my biggest thing would be find one thing and then find a group, several groups of people that are doing that one thing that you want. Then before you even look to like buy from someone, like I like to look at the before and after, right? If you look at my Instagram, Instagram, it's a visual platform. You look at my posts in 2016, I was talking about business, right? If you go to now, where I've had a lot of success, I'm talking about the same thing. So I would look for that transparency and congruency with someone before you decide to invest, right? For example, Grant Cardone, he's a savage, right? I love Grant. That's why I've invested, because you've seen Grant in 2017 and Grant in 2019, you see the growth. You want to invest with people that are going to be doing the same. And if they're not doing the business and they're just doing a coaching and consulting, I don't think that's the best person to invest with. So, really just do your research. And of course, mentorship is great. I wish I had it, but people think they're investing in someone to learn their knowledge, but there's no straight path to success. That's like something you have to realize as well. You can get the knowledge, but if you're not having success, it's either because of lack of knowledge or the lack of action. So you need to, you can, like for me, the reason why I had success is even if I was failing, I was still having insane amount of action, regardless of the results I had. That's what separates me from the other people when they start that don't have success. Like if I would have quit when I made one sale in my first store and closed it down, if I would have just done that and never done dropshipping, say, okay, cool, I'm gonna get a college degree and I'm just gonna go get a 9-to-5, which is a route that people can take. There's nothing wrong with that. But if I would have done that, then I wouldn't be fulfilling myself and wouldn't be where I am today.
Yeah. So what got you to keep going and to like persevere through that when you were experiencing these failures and things weren't going like the way you expected? Like why did you stay on this path? And like, why did you keep pushing?
I would say the biggest thing was just the end goal and really realizing like what entrepreneurship can do for your life, because it truly is freedom once you get to where you need to be. It's not freedom when you start. It's going to be the exact opposite, right? It's not easy at all, but the end goal is something, it's bigger than money, because if your goal has to be bigger than money, because the money will come. It really just has to be an end goal. I wanted to create something that was bigger than me. And really when I met Christian, I was so focused on me. And that's something that a lot of people need to work on, just lowering your ego and really allowing something to grow and just like reap what you sow pretty much.
What are some of the best ways to do that you found?
I think patience is very important. Patience with action is really how I've had success. Like if you fail, I've failed tons and tons of times, but if you fail, it's just a learning experience because you have to fail forward. I think that's John Maxwell's quote, failing forward. It's definitely a great way to really know what your end goal is, because throughout high school, like I used to get bullied actually, because I was literally reading Sells or How to Be, like it was Grant Cardone's book, like Sell or Be Sold. I forget. Yeah. I was literally remember it clean as day. And the people that were making fun of me actually do online business now, which is even the crazier part. I was literally reading that book at the lunch table and people were like, why are you always reading books? And I was like, I want to be a millionaire. Like I want to be a millionaire before I'm 21. That's a goal I've set for myself for almost 5 years now.
Wow.
And I just remember just being made fun of. So literally in high school, I stopped going to my lunch for 18 months and just dove into courses and books on psychology, just tons of different stuff.
So was it hard for you to then like build relationships with people in high school?
I would say no, definitely not. Because I played sports as well. So I definitely would say I was one of the smartest guys on my team. I was really just, I don't know, high school was I had a great experience in high school. Of course, I went through my ups and downs like every teenager, but I took a lot of hard classes. So I definitely was academically educated. I played sports, had a college lacrosse scholarship, started several businesses. They did well. I was actually the president of this this club called DECA. It's like a business club.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I definitely had a very large influence on the way I do business. I just really knew the value of self-education, because if you really think about it, college institutions make so much money because they educate people. So if you can just educate yourself, then you can make a lot of money. You're not going to need a college to do that.
100%. So like right now with Digitalism, what's your day-to-day look like? Like what are you primarily working on?
Yeah. So usually I wake up in the morning, check all of our ads. I manage all the ads here. So Facebook, Google, Twitter, Snapchat, pretty much for our clients, as well as our own e-commerce stores and our personal brands. So wake up 4:30ish, get downstairs because we work out of our house. Then my day-to-day is either content or client work or meetings, just pretty much there's so many different like very minuscule tasks. And then around like 7 or 8 p.m., I get tired and just go work out and sleep. And then just repeat that throughout the week. And then Saturdays, I usually just relax a little bit, get some work done, hang out with my girlfriend, and just go from there. It's what my life is. I dreamed of being able to do this and have an opportunity to build something at such a young age. Not many 19-year-olds can drop out of college and build a company and have a foundation, have a house, have great people surrounded by themselves.
100%, 100%. So when it comes to like the ad side of things, talk to the listeners about like what they need to know when it comes to like getting involved in ads for the first time.
Right. Yeah. If you're going to have success in really Facebook advertisements, Facebook ads is what everyone's talking about.
Yeah.
It depends if you're, let's say, a lead generation agency, which is half of our business, or you're selling a product, right? The biggest thing people tend to miss out on is like, if you think about Facebook, there's only so many interests that you can target on Facebook.
Sure.
There's only so many variations you can do. The biggest selling point is A, the copy, like the wording of the advertisement, and B, the creative. If you can match that up, all you need to do is just find the right people and put the ad in front of them. And then everything else will work immediately because those two things are already honed in perfectly. So that's what we do for our clients as well, whether that's a restaurant that wants to get more people to eat their burgers or selling your own product. It's just the same strategy. Focus on the creative, focus on the look, because you just have to spend the money to get in front of them at the end of the day.
Absolutely. So like what have you found are like the core pillars of like good ad creative?
Right. Well, it depends. It really depends on like the product. I would say finding the customer's like the desire of the customer. For example, if I'm going to sell a back brace, right, I'm going to make an ad that's targeted to several groups of people. Like there's groups of people that would relate to a product that they have different reasons why they'd buy that product. For example, if I'm going to sell a back brace, right, very general, because I like to sell products that solve problems because those are the easiest types of things to sell. It's very simple. You have a problem, here's what you can do to solve it. So back brace, right? If I'm going to sell it different to an entrepreneur or an athlete that's either sitting down all the time because they have bad posture or they get hit all the time because of sports. So those are two groups of people. I'll sell it different to the entrepreneur than I would sell it to the athlete, then I would sell it to the old grandma. So basically finding the desire of different demographics and audiences, and then from there, just making the product relatable to them.
As far as like making it relatable to them, what do you mean by that?
So like, for example, like in the copy, right? Let's say I had a video ad of a back brace. If I was having an ad targeted to entrepreneurs, I would say, are you tired of sitting at your desk all day and dealing with bad back pain? Okay, so right away, that ad that's being shown to someone that has a 9-to-5 or is an entrepreneur, and that's the problem that they have. Then offer them a solution. Get this back brace that has solved 10,000 people's back pain for 50% off. And then I just have the link, super simple, and then just off to the races.
As far as like copywriting goes, is that something that you have been doing for a while now?
No, actually, it's been something I've been trying to improve on because I was on the other side where I was always good at like targeting people, and you can only target so many people on Facebook with just ads and just those strategies like $10 worldwide, all these different drop shipping strategies that people talk about on YouTube, etc. But once I realized after meeting Christian, because Christian does branding, Christian and I think two different ways when it comes to selling a product online. He's more focused on the branding, the look, and how it works, because that can also generate a lot of money as well. That's why like clothing brands make a lot of money because they're only focused on the look. And I'm more focused on the actual paid media buying. So once I learned the power of combining both correctly, and we started making more money from that from our clients as well, that's when I truly realized, okay, I need to focus on copy more because we already have the creative side with Piero and Anthony on our team. So that's not really a problem. It's more of the actual copy and the desires, because the copy is what relates to the customer. And that's how you figure out basically how to sell them with words.
So when it comes to writing copy, what have been some of the things that you've been learning recently as far as like what sells well?
I've just really been looking at other people that obviously do copy and just seeing how they're like, try to get sold pretty much. I know there's some people that have email lists. So just see how they would sell me. And obviously just, I'm not going to copy what they say, but seeing how their demeanor is and things like that. But for the e-commerce side, I've just been doing more and more research on psychology, because if you can figure out, the pain points for a specific product or why people would buy, then you just need to figure out unique ways to manufacture that and manipulate the words in a way to make the consumer want to buy it.
Absolutely. And yeah, finding those creative ways to basically just use language to get people to make the decision that you want them to make. Like that's what copy is right there.
It's just the art of persuasion at the end of the day.
Exactly. So like, do you feel like that's something that comes naturally to you, like being able to persuade people to do things, or is
I
that
would
something?
say I would say through voice, yes, I'm a very people person. I'm very
Mhm.
good at talking to people, but I'm definitely trying to improve it on the actual e-commerce side. Um, just because it's different. It's different. But I would say more of showing something in a unique way to people that makes them want to buy something I'm good at. But copywriting, obviously, as time progresses, that's an asset I want to have just because if I'm good at it, I won't have to pay someone else to do it.
That's the truth. And good copywriters are not cheap. Like I just hired
Right.
somebody to do a huge email sequence for me. It cost a little bit of money. Like I was,
But
like
the value
copywriters.
is there, especially if you use it on Facebook Messenger too. Facebook Messenger, I think
Ooh,
that's the future.
100%, man. I mean, yeah, I'm surprised like the lack of regulations on ManyChat. I'm like, dude, I don't know if this can last forever because like it's just so good.
Right. Especially for e-commerce as well. I've gotten a lot of great results using like a many chat giveaway. It's pretty much
Really?
really good. You like get a bot, people will get entered into a product, and then if they don't win, you send like each customer like a 40 or 50% off discount code, and it just goes nuts.
Dang. Okay, I might have to try
For
that.
sure, for sure, for sure.
Little ninja tip right there. I
Oh
love
yeah.
it. So as far as like ads go in general, like talk to somebody who is like 18, 19, 20 years old. They're starting like maybe they're starting like an agency and they want to
Right,
start incorporating paid traffic into the work that they're doing. Maybe
right,
right now they're just doing like creative or like posting for clients.
right,
How could they start getting some exposure into the realm of ads? Like what's
right,
the best way to get your foot in the door?
right. Well, the foot in the door would be my first thing would be it's like a psychological biases book. I forget the 33 psychological biases. I would
Hmm.
get that book right away. I forget who it's by. I don't know if off the top of my head. The reason for that is because when you're doing your ads, there's three steps from creating a good ad. There's the targeting,
Hmm.
and there's an actual ad, and if you're doing lead generation, then there's like the post lead gen, the posts like when they go off of the platform,
Yeah.
whether they're using a Facebook lead ad or using like a ClickFunnels landing page. So you need to make sure every part of that is good. That way you can maximize the money for your clients. Because you have a happy client, happy life. Just that simple. So pretty much for targeting, I would just do pretty much a radius targeting. So what that is you just literally choose like if you're doing like say a restaurant, you choose 20 to 25 people around the restaurant, 20 to 20 miles. I'm sorry, 20 to 25 miles from the restaurant.
Hmm.
And then for the actual audience, I would target like very general, like burgers, if they're burgers, like very
Sure.
general stuff. The creative would have to be very important. So I kind of make like a viral video
Hmm.
type of advertisement. It just depends on the business. We use restaurants as a very general example. And then after, I would give an offer. So let's say the offer would be buy one, get one half off. So what I would do is I would have an ad. The first ad that the customers would see would just be an ad talking about the restaurant. And then I would have another ad that would be targeting anyone that saw that ad with a specific offer. And
Hmm.
then I'd have the offer either we get their information to like a landing page, and probably would have it like the landing page synced up with Facebook Messenger just because that works really well for our restaurant clients. And then I would just start get it spending and then go from there. Make it go viral. Make it go viral in the local area only because you don't want to run your ads nationally just because if you're doing a local business, they're not going to see much value from that.
Yeah. For sure. So with that first ad that you were talking about, like that's just like sort of promoting the restaurant, like what would that look like?
Well, it's just like I would get like shots. You could even do it with the iPhone. It doesn't have to be. You can. There's pretty much any Moto. It's like a video editing app.
Hmm.
So what I would do is I would just get shots of their food, the food being cooked, and I just make it look really nice. Make it someone look hungry, and make you want to be hungry from looking at the ad, pretty much. And I would just put some text on it and go from there. And I'd make sure it only be run locally. That way, you can maximize the reach.
Hmm. Exactly. So then with that second ad, you basically just come in and like anyone who saw that first like promotional thing, then you hit them with an offer.
Yeah, just because you want to maximize your money for your clients, right? If you can spend, let's say you have an $1,000 budget and you spend $800 just growing the organic brand and people who are aware, and then you have the rest of the money shown to people that are actually like interested in whatever the offer is, then instead of spending $800 on just the regular offer, you're spending $200 on the actual offer, and you're maximizing that $200 compared to the other $800 if you had a
Huh.
$1,000 budget.
Okay. And like, so if you were to just run like the straight ad without doing that like first like promotional ad, or just running the offer rather,
Right.
it wouldn't be as effective because you're not able to like screen people.
Well, it's not that it wouldn't be as effective, right? But the biggest thing is when you're running ads, it's not your money.
Yeah.
You want to maximize if you want to maximize the budget your client has. So if my client only has, let's say, $1,000,
Mhm.
because some businesses might not have $5,000, $10,000 budget with the clients you work here. If they only have that specific budget, then I would just see how I can. You're not going to be able to maximize it if you just run one offer, because what if they're not interested? Whereas if you can run the offer to people that already know who you are,
Mm.
then just warm audiences always convert way more in any business, whether it's a lead generation or e-commerce store, than a cold audience.
Okay. So what are some other ways to warm up your audience besides like running some paid traffic to them?
Right. I mean, you can always have like, an Instagram software that would like just target people locally,
Mm-hmm.
or emails as well with like people that have engaged. I mean, it just really depends on the business. There's so many different types of businesses you can put a billboard out of. It's just really, I think paid traffic is the best way if you're doing anything online, just because the way the platforms are coming now, you have to spend the money to make the money at this point.
Yeah.
You can't really you can only do so much for free, like with free strategies.
That's the truth. So as far as like you mentioned how your day is structured earlier, how do you like plan out? Because I mean, you said there's a lot of like menial tasks that you're doing. So do you plan things out the day before, the week before? Like, how does that look?
Yeah, so I have actually kind of funny you mentioned it. I'll pull it up right now. I have a planner. You can't really see it much, but every day I just go through the last day and kind of see like, okay, this is what I did that day. Check off, make sure I'm getting everything done, obviously, and then obviously every day there might be something different I need to do, and then we also do this thing at my company where we track our time, so I can see what I'm maximizing my time on. Because with online business, it's really easy to lose in a couple hours on your computer.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You'll look at it and be like, oh my God, 2 hours. It's already 7 p.m. Oh my gosh.
So why a paper planner instead of like Google Calendar?
I don't know. I've always seen that I use Google Calendar for like meetings and times and things like that.
Okay.
But I've always just known that just writing down for me is just worked better. I've tried Trello. I don't put stuff up. I just know if I write it down, I'll remember it, and then I can just refer to it.
Hmm. Yeah. I mean, whatever works for everybody's got their own system.
Everyone's different.
Straight up. So if we've got a listener out there who wants to get started in the world of digital marketing, building a digital agency, what are some of like the first steps you would recommend? Like they haven't started anything, they
Right.
haven't gotten any clients, they haven't like literally
Right.
done anything. They just had this idea in their head.
Right. My first thing would be find a couple groups of audiences of people that you want to serve to. So if you're an agency, there's really three main types of services. There's content creation, there's paid traffic, and then like copywriting/email marketing. Those are like really the main three you can offer to a business. Email marketing and copy is more if a business is already like more established
Sure.
and they have something going on, because it's going to be harder to see immediate results if they don't have a list. But I would find one of those three services. Oh, also SEO. I forgot about SEO as well. I'd find one of those four services and either learn how to do it or outsource it to someone that knows already how to do it. And then I would find a niche of people, because working with niches are a lot better than having like a general marketing company.
Okay.
For us, we have a business to consumer and business to business company. So we don't really publicly display our niches, right? But we have a niche. We have several segments of clients that we mainly work with and serve. The reason why I say choose a niche is just because if you focus on one group of people, you're going to get a lot more referrals for those types of groups of people. And you're going to be able to have a system and process once you get good results. Like you could close a client today, and then tomorrow you can have the process that you already know will work because it's worked for those past 10 clients you've already had. And it's just a lot easier. So if you're going to start off, I would choose one niche, whether it's like working with doctors or lawyers or just there's tons of different businesses that need social media marketing services.
Mm-hmm.
So then after that, I would just make a list of like 25 to 50 local businesses, and then I get to selling. We have our own unique strategies that we use to get a like 7 to 8 out of 10 conversion rate on every outreach we do. I would just get the meetings, and after I get the meetings, it's just a matter of learning how to do sales and close the deal.
Cool. So for like beginners, would you recommend like cold calling, cold emailing? Like
I recommend cold email over cold calling for sure. But I definitely think to practice, you should definitely cold call some businesses that are out of your state. Not in your state if you want to really dominate your local area, because I always recommend dominating your local area before going for other places just because it's a lot easier. You'll probably have connections or networks. Networking is very important in social media. I would say once I learned how to network effectively, Jordan taught me a lot of things, just getting in high level meetings and things like that. That's how you really begin to get bigger clients, and easier because if someone already knows about you and what you offer, now it's just a matter of the price and the results.
For sure. So what are some strategies that our listeners could be using to get in those high level meetings or just start building their network?
LinkedIn for sure. That's something I've been lacking on. I definitely want to get on a bit more after we launch some more projects we've been working on. But using LinkedIn, networking events, you can literally, that's why choosing a niche is so important. If let's say you do real estate and you only work with realtors, okay, you can literally go to where your target market is and network with your target market. There's nothing better than that. Whereas if you just are a general media agency, now you can go to so many clients, yes, but focusing on just one type of group of clients, if you're doing like a paid traffic agency or you're just getting started, will be a lot more effective.
Absolutely. So as far as like LinkedIn goes, you're talking like posting on LinkedIn, like messaging with people.
Posting and just like, also I use a bot sometimes to like connect with like-minded people, but you don't have to use a bot. Obviously, if you're just using it to like actually network and build the relationships, messaging people, offering value. And my biggest thing would be, don't ask for the sale. Don't sell anyone when you first meet them.
Yeah.
Especially when you meet them online, if you're trying to meet a business owner, because a lot of people try to sell someone. In reality, we're all business owners. We all do sales. So you want to build a relationship and build a rapport with someone. So after that second time you come to them, you can really have an offer and learn about their business and really see how you can truly help people. Because once you're genuine and people trust you and you're transparent and you get results, that's how you make the big bucks. And that's why we've made so much money so far.
Absolutely. And that rapport building just goes a long way. Cause if you come in on the first message, like, hey, $1,000 a month, I'm gonna do this, that, and the other for you. Let's do it. Like you're not going to get a response to that
quality
message.
Quality is over quantity. You don't want to message like, for us, like another agency can cold email like 100 people and get like 20 meetings. Whereas we could do 25 to 50 and get like 30 to 40 meetings if we're really, really putting the effort and the thoroughness to go and make sure the client or potential lead knows what we offer, knows their pain points, knows how we can help them. We know their budget. We know all these things about them before we get into the meeting. So when we get in the meeting, we can just come to an agreement then. And it's not like they're like having many objections, because we've already handled the objections before they even ask them, because we had rapport with them.
That's the truth. So do you guys prepare like some kind of like video or like a PowerPoint or what?
Well, yeah, it really depends on the niche. So if we're working with like a lead generation business, there's really no need for us to, because they're not gonna, unless like a high level business that's had Facebook advertisements ran for them before, they just want to pay and get the results, right? If we can explain it to them in a very simple way that they understand it, then we won't need to do a proposal unless we need to. But it just depends on a per client basis. Sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. And we just kind of just hash everything out with them and just go from there.
Cool. All right. So, Kendall, I have some questions that I do like to ask all of my guests before we wrap up the show. Are you feeling ready for those?
Of course.
Awesome. So the first thing that I'm curious about is, what is something that genuinely has you excited right now?
Okay. Honestly, I would say we definitely have a lot of e-commerce brands that we've been working on in the kind of working on behind the scenes, I guess you could say. And I'm really excited to publicly announce those when things happen in a couple months from now, whether that's 12 months, 6 months, 9 months, I don't know. But I'm excited for those. But other than that, I'm just really excited to focus on the growth of my company. We've been growing so well. It's only been 6 months in. And it's just amazing to see what we can do in such short time. So that's what I'm excited for the most, for sure.
That's what's up. Do you have any like quick tips for like listeners who are trying to scale? Like maybe they have a business right now, but they're having trouble scaling.
My biggest thing would be if you're trying to scale a business and you're kind of like stuck or plateauing, I would say invest in yourself. Investing in yourself is the most important thing you can do as a business. That's something I regret so much, because when I had my first business, I would just spend the money on like dumb stuff like food, hanging out, like not doing anything proactive that would actually pay off in the long run. So my biggest thing would be invest in the business and try and grow the business to a point where that end goal you have of paying yourself a monthly, let's say $100,000, but your business is doing $500,000 because you've invested in yourself so much. Sorry, someone's FaceTiming.
No worries. Totally agree with you on that. Kendall, do you have any habits that have served you particularly well, either in your business or your lifestyle?
Definitely working out. I could say if you're an entrepreneur and you're working and you're just really working hard, you have to keep your body in check. Your health is your wealth. If your body, goes down and you're not doing as well, you're not feeling as well, it's not going to be very good for you and your business. So I would say definitely focusing on just working out, being consistent with working out has been a great habit for me. Waking up early. I definitely have been waking up early since probably high school. Before high school, I'd wake up at like 5 a.m. every day. So not every day, but a good amount. So I could, I would just be able to get that extra hour before I would go to school, because in school I would only have a certain amount of free time. And I just really calculated like how much time you have in a day and just maximizing your time, being very aware of that. Because if you don't maximize your time, then no one else is going to do it for you.
For sure. So how do you guys track your time with your business?
I'll show you, kid you not, I have a sheet right here, and I use that sheet to write down every day of my tasks. But other than that, I just guess it's just being conscious, being very self-aware. Self-awareness is important.
100%. Any tips on how a younger listener can start developing that self-awareness?
I would say definitely just spend some time, enjoy being with yourself. That's something that a lot of people tend to not have success in.
Yeah.
Learn more about yourself, dive into yourself, and develop yourself. So whether it's develop yourself physically, mentally, spiritually, depending on your religion. I have my own beliefs, as well as just reading books and learning, trying to improve yourself every single day. That's a great habit you should have. If you're not improving yourself, you're being complacent, and complacency just leads to going backwards pretty much.
100%. Now, Kendall, what kind of content, if any, are you consuming right now? I know you mentioned some books a while back, but like, are there any books you're reading, podcasts you're listening to?
If I'm being 100% transparent, I haven't had the time to do that. I have some books that I've definitely read and have dove into, but I've been really focusing on my business and just trying to grow it, that I haven't had the time to just focus on what I want. But I read a lot on Facebook. Facebook has a lot of content. Since I do a lot of paid ads, most of the content I read is either like blog posts or like other like webinars, I guess, of like the actual companies or very high level media buying companies are managing millions of dollars a year in advertising spend, like reading about what they're doing. But before, I definitely read a lot about sales. So Grant Cardone, I forget his main sales book. Spin Selling, that's a great book. Ray Dalio, Principles, I read some of that. But I would really say with books, you just have to be very strategic in the books you read. There's a lot of like Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Like, it's a great book, but how much action is that really going to give you to start a business? You don't want to be one of those guys that just reads tons and tons and tons and tons of books but doesn't do anything. I can say I was a victim of that at one point. I was reading so much that it was actually lacking my action. Now I don't have the time to read. I have to read like 10 pages a day.
Yeah. And finding that balance is tough, because like, if you don't have enough information, like if you don't have the knowledge base to like actually do something effectively, like, learn about it. But like, once you have enough information, like you got to just start taking action. Right.
Yeah. I mean, there's only so much you can learn when you're doing it online, if you're doing online business, right? So my biggest things, if you're going to learn from people, from books, it's really just about psychology. Psychology is so big in having success, because if you can learn how humans think, then you can make them think the way you want them to think.
For sure. Now, Kendall, one thing that I'm also always curious about as well is what the guests that I have on this show do that isn't scaled. So what I mean by this is every single day, for example, I'll go on Instagram, I'll shoot like 5 to 10 video messages just to new followers. I'll pick like a couple new people from the day that followed me, and I'll just be like, hey, Kendall, how's it going? Thank you so much for the follow. Let me know if there's any way that I can add value to anything that you're doing. Have a wonderful day. Something super simple like that. It's not something that I bring one of my VAs on to just like send out all day. It's something that I want to use to like start a one-on-one conversation with people, because for me, connecting with people is important to me. So is there anything for you that you're doing either in Digitalism through your personal brand that you choose not to scale?
I would definitely say the amount of people we take on for like learning from us, if that makes sense. Because realistically, like all these people, they have these courses and things like that. And genuinely, like we turn away a lot of people because we want to help people. A lot of people that sell consulting business to consumer, pretty much, they'll take on anyone just to make the sale. And the reality is, if I can't help someone, and if they want to work with us, I'm going to tell them no, I'm sorry, I can't help you. Whether that's because of what you're doing, your budget, or just anything. We always have people's best interests in mind. So I would definitely say that's one thing that we haven't scaled yet. I don't plan on doing it anytime soon.
100% respect for that. So Kendall, you've been dropping a ton of value on our listeners today. Where can they go if they want to follow up with you, learn more about you and what you're currently working on?
If you want to learn more about digitalism, kind of what we've been doing, I know Christian and Jordan spoke on the podcast as well, my two business partners. My Instagram is at KNDALL, probably be somewhere on the video.
Yep.
And just DM me. You saw me and you heard the podcast, and I'd love to connect with anyone that listens. I respond to my DMs every day. This is my job. So if you guys want to learn more, just, hit me up.
Awesome. And I'll be sure to link that up in the show notes as well. Kendall, again, thank you so much for being here on Young Smart Money today. Do you have any last closing thoughts or words of wisdom you want to end the show with?
Yeah, my biggest thing would be just if you're listening to this, learn how to invest at a young age, or invest now if you can, because investing in yourself is the best investment. It will always pay off tenfold because you'll never be able to calculate it. I've told you I've invested tens of thousands of dollars into my knowledge, and it's paid off hundreds of thousands at this point. So my biggest advice would be invest in yourself and just take massive action in anything, whether that's college or your business or anything you want in life. You just have to take massive action, because if you don't, someone else will.
That's the truth. That's the truth. Kendall, thank you so much for your time, man. I really do appreciate it. Appreciate you choosing to spend it here on Young Smart Money.
For sure.
It's been a pleasure. Thanks for listening to this episode of Young Smart Money. If you want to support the show, you can do so in 3 different ways. You can subscribe, you can leave me 5, and you can share this episode with a friend. To subscribe, all you got to do is click the subscribe button on Apple Podcasts. To leave me 5, all you got to do is scroll all the way down to the bottom of the podcast page for Young Smart Money and click on the Write a Review button. And to share with a friend, all you got to do is screenshot yourself listening to this episode, post it on your Instagram story, tag me, and I will be sure to repost it in my Instagram story as well. I love giving you guys some attention who are listening to the show. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you in the next one. Real quick, just launched a new project called the Online Course Examiner, basically the Yelp of online courses. It is blowing up lately, onlinecourseexaminer.com. Check it out.